All right, guys. Good morning, good evening, good night. Another episode of NFT Live. We're coming at you hot with the latest from the NFT industry. We appreciate you guys showing up today and joining us and talking NFTs. I'm with my two boys right here. I'm with Ronin. I'm with Buffalo. What's going on, guys? What's happening today?
Not much, man. Not much. How you doing, man? It's been a good week. I hope everybody's excited. We got some really good content for you guys today. A lot going on in the NFT world as usual. How you doing, Buffalo?
Good, man. And I don't believe you when you say not much. I think there is a lot going on right now, and I think this episode is jam-packed to the point where we are going to run it every second. And I'm going to let you guys take over here, and let's get the show going, boys. How about it?
Yeah, absolutely, man. And we're going to start here. Actually, let me go through some of this stuff. I know I changed around my background a little bit, so if it looks like a dorm room, I'm sorry. But what we've got going on here, guys, is a couple updates for the people seeking NFT Alpha. Obviously, we've got some sales coming up, but we do have some stuff to get to. We've got Sandbox. We've got Binance kind of buying us some land there. We've got RARI. Good Lord, RARI's been killing it. We've got a lot of Nifty Gateway drops here, 3 specifically that we're going to get into. And we're going to have ourselves a good episode, man. I do want to give a shout out real quick if we can pull up my screen. I want to give a shout out to Play to Earn. We use a lot of Play to Earn's content here on the channel, and we have a shout out to them because they were talking about us starting a blockchain gaming media district. So I just want to shout out to Play to Earn real quick so that we can do that. But without further ado, man, Ronin, how was this past week, man, for you? NFT Live obviously is going to cover NFTs here, but how was your week in NFT land?
It's been good, man. It's been good. There's been a lot of like really interesting stuff going on. Obviously, I think that's kind of the case every day, and we kind of get used to this fast-paced environment. I did want to take a second and go ahead and say thanks to all the guys who jumped into chat. Thank you, lads, so much. Martin, North Bull, Kieran, what's going on, man? Dimitri, thank you so much. First, I don't think you were first that time, buddy. Brandon, thanks for being here, buddy. Long hair, Scott, we appreciate you guys so much. Daniel and Cryptophagia, without you guys, what are we gonna do, right? So
Absolutely.
a lot of stuff going on this week, man. A lot of stuff going on. Not even sure. Like obviously, we spoke a little bit about the Rari thing, right? Like that's
Hmm.
probably the hot news of the moment is how Rari's been pumping. But we've got some information as far as drops and stuff is
Yeah.
concerned, right? So
I do want to touch on the Rari token, obviously, that we'll go to in depth.
yes.
But yeah, so the timeline here, Rona, if you can throw it at me, we got some upcoming wax drops. We've got GPK announcements, Nifty cards, and crypto twerps, and then we'll kind of start into the news. So hit me with that info, man. What do you got?
Yeah, so for all the wax guys out there and gals, we do have some really interesting drops coming this month. We've got the GPK OS2 is coming. Right behind GPK, we've got a couple other ones. Now these are not like set dates, but these are kind of projects that I'm a little bit excited about, and I think that you guys should definitely be taking a look at. The first one I wanted to talk about is Nifty cards. These guys are going for a really unique feel and look. It's really cool art. And this was a promo token that they gave out, and if you were like in the Telegram, obviously if you guys are in if you're in the Bitcoin community, you know Telegram's the place to be. So you'll want to hop on their Telegram, check it out. They're doing some really cool giveaways. But they've got some stuff coming before the end of the year, as well as another project that I'm really excited about, which is Crypto Twerps. So Crypto Twerps is, I think it kind of started off kind of the same idea as Blockchain Heroes, kind of like let's kind of like take the GPK thing and kind of expand on that. But they're
Mm.
going for a little bit more fun and like just and also a little bit more broad. Like so they did these really cool early releases for some people who got in early. This was a Spotalic, which I really think was a cool card. It's obviously a sketch card, but they're actually going to be targeting like all types of people, right? So I've seen like they've got Joe Rogan, lots of stuff like that, and it's going to be the two, I don't know what you'd call it, like the 2 tier run. So like you'll have an A and a B side for every card that comes
Mm.
out. And then with those, there's also going to be a Street Fighter release, which I don't think I actually put on our show notes. But if you don't know, they are partnered up with Atari as well as Capcom for Street Fighter, and they will be bringing special NFTs from Street Fighter to wax. So those are the big wax drops that are coming, and you guys should definitely be looking forward to.
Yeah, do we have any updates on the GPK announcement at all? I don't know if you dropped it in that statement, but what's going on with GPKs, man? Because I know a ton of people have been
Right.
flipping those cards, been collecting.
Yeah, so we all know like GPK is what really kicked off the NFT thing for Wax, right? GPK came out with a original series 1 in May, and now we're looking forward to OS2. So OS2 is going to be very similar, but it looks like they're kind of upping the production value of those cards. I don't have the a preview image up because it actually came in like an email, I think, and I don't have the email anymore. But basically, they're throwing in some new animations. They're going to be looking really, really good. And I think that we're going to get that not next week, but the week after. So that's
Gotcha.
something to be looking forward to. If you guys want to know how to make a quick X, again, not financial advice, right? But from someone who
Hit 'em with
lived
it.
through OS1 and was able to, I'm still running. I don't know if I've mentioned this. I know I told you this before, but I kind of run my NFT like hobby off of like my initial investment. So I'm still running off of that investment. I mean, all the art I've picked up, all the
Mm.
cogs, all that stuff, all comes from the money I made off of GPK that first time around. So definitely buy into GPK, hold those packs, and then usually about 24 hours after like they sell out, that price is just going through the roof.
Yeah, absolutely. And I on my screen here, I've got the Wax Explorer pulled up. This is going to be the volume. You can see the spikes around the times the sales started, but we have seen kind of a dip in those Series 1, those Joe Exotics. As you can see, like a very clear one here. When the exotic sale went live, it represented a ton of volume on Wax, and then has since kind of fell off. It looks like GPK series as well. Had a small little blip here, but has kind of fallen off. So yeah, we're looking for those new kind of sales to kind of kickstart and continue the growth on Wax. We'll get to Wax here in a second. I know you have some bones to pick with CZ there, Ronin, but we'll definitely get to that. So I've got a couple things that I want to get to here, but let's talk on SuperRare last, and then move into the Sandbox. Man, Sandbox has been killing it. So let's get into the Sandbox after SuperRare here.
Yep. So as far as SuperRare is concerned, SuperRare, what they are doing over there is they have started a little event. And that event is basically for a period of 48 hours that started at 12:27 p.m. yesterday, go until 12:27 p.m. tomorrow, is whichever collector spends the most ETH is going to be able to pick any artwork in their collection and get it for free. And some of that stuff goes for a lot of money. So it's really going to be interesting to see what happens and which whales are going to go like all in on this event.
Yeah, we'll keep in touch with SuperRare. I haven't really got into the art scene. That's one thing as we go through NFTLive, man. That's 100% one thing I want you to take me into, because you're definitely more in that environment. So we do have a comment here that I want to get to, man. Kieran's saying he wants his Cogs to moon. Give us an update on Cogs. What's going on? I know you're super
Yeah,
involved in
man.
that industry,
Okay.
bro.
Yeah, definitely, dude. So, if you don't know, Cogs is still running their Easter egg hunt, and the most recent update on that is we finally started making some progress. I think we're on like the third like hint now at this point. But the rumor is that the prize is 1 Bitcoin. So, if you guys don't know about the Easter egg hunt, it's worth looking into. Definitely jump in on the Discord. And then we talked a little bit last week about the fact that they've got a nice roadmap coming. We've got the second series of Cogs coming in December, and then by the end of the month, we're going to see the first open beta of one of their games. So we're not really sure if it's going to be the Pogs online game or if it's going to be one of the other games that they're producing, but we will see a game. So I think that Cogs, if you guys haven't noticed already, is pumping. I think the packs are over $60 for a starter pack.
Interesting.
So
Yeah,
yeah, man,
definitely, man.
and they
It's
just
one to
keep
keep your
going
eye
up.
on.
And
Go
yeah, I
ahead.
think they're at like 68% packs open as well, which is really big. I mean, that's a lot of packs opened. So people are still ripping packs. People are still chasing sets. We see new people in the morning chat every day. Usually they do every Monday through Friday. They do at 9 a.m. Eastern. They do a chat with the community. If you guys aren't part of that, it's definitely, if you want to know when your Cogs are going to moon, Kieran, that's a great time to jump in and have a conversation with the dev team and find out. over $80 now. Chris Roberts says they were 60 2 days ago. That's amazing. Over $80 for a starter pack, dude. They were $20.
Yeah, that's the packs and like opening packs to see if you're getting the cards and trying to find value in
Right.
either of those is an interesting debate. And it looks like it's working out on Cogs for the people that decided, hey, I don't want to open these. I want to see what value I can get from selling the packs. Those seem to be more stable than trying to open them and trying to flip like more unique cards, but also maybe you open it and you don't really get anything unique. I think the packs are definitely more stable over the long term. What's Shatner doing, man? I want to know. I haven't even looked at it a single time on
Nothing.
Shatner since the sale.
Nothing. Yeah,
Yeah.
I actually think that they said last week that they were going to be announcing a like a burn event, but honestly, I didn't buy into Shatner. So like I think like I don't know 2 shards or something of Shatner. So I'm not really keeping up with that one. It's not enough to keep my interest. But I will say this. I will say that, and one last thing about the Cox. Up until the point of 2 days ago where they were like $60, you could still crack a starter pack in confidence and feel that those last 5 slots that were the special slots were going to at least make you your money back. And for the most part, like that seems to have been the trend. Like, I mean, people in the Discord are communicating about that a lot. And every time they're cracking packs, like we did some packs 2 nights ago on the Discord and somebody got on, he bought like 10 packs and he opened all of them. And like, we kind of did the calculations and it was like, he was up a good amount, you know what I mean? And then when you evened it out, it's like it makes it worth like cracking the packs. I don't know so much at $80, but we'll see. We'll see how that market holds up.
Yeah, definitely. I think obviously Cogs has been doing some good things. I think they're kind of carrying Wax at the moment. Obviously, we have other kind of sales, but it's good to see Cogs doing well. So we're going to move over to the Ethereum side of things, guys. It looks like we have 19 of you guys in the chat currently. I think we peaked at about 22 there. So we appreciate you guys stopping by. Thanks for leaving all the comments. As you can see, you guys are getting those comments thrown up on the screen. That's our man Buffalo in the background, but we'll get to him in a second. He's got himself an NFT project that he's been super involved in. Maybe he can give us some information there about mid-episode. But we're going to move over to the Ethereum side of things. I'm going to pull up my screen here. We've got Binance buying virtual property in the sandbox. So obviously Binance had the sandbox on their launchpad. That was a huge deal. We had I think it was like more like a $3 million sale that they had, that their IEO that they had on Launchpad. But it looks like Binance specifically is buying up land to the tune of 4,000 pieces or 4,000 real estate pieces. I believe that's 2.5% of the total supply of land at the moment. I'm not sure if Sandbox is going to pull crypto voxels there and kind of increase their universe as time goes on. But up to this point, that's 4,000 land, and there's about 144,000 plots total. So they're gobbling up some land there. I think they were talking more about the sale that we'll get to here in a second. But it's good to see Binance getting involved here. I know there's a couple of information that I can pull up on my screen here as well. Let me see if I can't get it. Animoca Brands, who is the company that invested in Sandbox, put out their own little announcement here as well. And it had some clear information on what they were going to use it. So I'm going to read directly from this article here. Binance will use its lands to engage with the community through social gaming experiences within Sandbox, organizing future NFT creation contests. It will also distribute the lands to creators who propose the most compelling games made within the Sandbox game maker. So it looks like they're going to take this land. They're not just going to sit on it, but it looks like they're going to use it for purposes of kind of engaging with the community. It'll be interesting to see. Will we see a Binance exchange in the virtual world? We'll have to see, but it's good to see Binance kind of taking a literal stake in this one metaverse.
Yeah, man, that seems to be like really big news. I think that obviously if you're going in and you're buying up that much land, you've probably got some pretty big plans. And the facts that obviously that they deal with the sand token makes a lot of sense. It seems to me like that's kind of a big trend overall when it comes to crypto. It seems like anyone who's kind of involved in crypto reinvests in crypto, right? Like because the more people who are invested in it is going to help your token or whatever you're invested in pump. So it makes a lot of sense to see that with Binance, which is interesting overall. I guess I'm just thinking more along the lines of what exactly are they going to do? Like, I guess you can create like a really massive, like you said, exchange like on
Hmm.
like, I don't know. What do you think? What do you think the physical build, I guess the digital build inside of Sandbox is going to look like?
Yeah, I mean, like we had an interview with Kava Labs a little while ago, and they were explaining how a lot of the reason that they partnered with Binance, Kava Labs is like a DeFi platform within
Okay.
Cosmos, and they were trying to access the Binance community. So it'll be interesting, you know, Binance. I don't know have it. I don't have any stats in front of me, but I think a lot of these
Mhm.
projects not only want to do IEOs like Sandbox did, but they want to access maybe Binance users. Again, I don't have the stats in front of
Okay.
me, but if they can access that community, maybe they just bring users into that world. You know, that's my guess. And then it kind of becomes a
Yeah.
self-fulfilling prophecy. You get the community over, they start buying up land that Binance already owns, and then we can see what
Hmm.
they're gonna do. So I guess you could definitely see this coming, right? Like they did an
Right.
IEO not like 2 months ago, so it makes sense for Binance to then take an additional stake in that world. But yeah, it would be cool to see like a physical exchange happen within that metaverse.
Definitely, definitely. I think that would be very cool. I do remember like back in the day, like playing Second Life, and in Second Life there were some like there were certain like bank areas, right? You could go to and like hit up the
Yeah.
ATM and get your Linden out or whatever. Real quick in chat, Brandon Cummings thanks us for the Cogs updates. He said he's going to try to join us in the morning for the morning chats. Thank you so much, Brandon. Chris Roberts actually said he sold a foil rare for 130 bucks, and then what did he do? He turned around and bought himself a starter pack for $83. So real quick about the Binance thing, I had a question.
Hmm.
So like everybody in chat should know, and anybody watching, is I'm not really into the DeFi side of things. So I have a question. How does, and this is kind of off the beaten path, how does something like sushi, right, end up on Binance? And this is how I'm connecting it, guys. So follow me here. Um, that is like correct. I mean, it's only been around for what, 2 weeks? I
Yeah.
mean, how does that end up on Binance? But a token like WaxP, which is something that I'm invested in, can't seem to get on to save their life.
Yeah, it looks like WaxP's having a little pump here, so I just want to point that out. We saw a little
Oh hell yeah!
dip in that little correction with Wax. The main the main reason here is going to be the trading volume, right? Like Binance is an exchange; they make money off trading volume. It looks like 24-hour
Right.
trading volume on WaxP is about 2 million, and
Okay.
Sushi is about 395 million. So it
Wow.
just from like a pure kind of fee taking and interest that they can drive to their exchange, they're going to list more tokens with more volume rather than something that
Gotcha.
obviously has value and like fundamental value. I think Wax is I think I said it criminally undervalued at one point, and I do
Yeah.
still agree with that. I think Wax is bringing a lot to the collectible space, but from just a cultural and community kind of energy, they're going to go ahead and list tokens that have this amount of volume, that have this amount of press that Sushi's getting right now, and it just comes down to that. But I kind of cheated there. You gave me that question before we hopped on, so I had a little time to think about it. But yeah, that's kind of the
Yeah.
reason for that situation.
Okay. Okay. I guess that makes sense
Yeah,
then. That makes sense. I mean,
yeah,
definitely the volume is. I guess it's still though it's still odd that you would just, I don't know, you would just throw it on there because right there's a little bit of controversy going on around sushi. So it's like, well, it's a big chance. I get the volume thing. I get the volume. It makes sense. So when it comes down
yeah.
to it, it's all about that money.
Yeah, it's interesting to see the DeFi space and NFT space kind of rub up against each other, and also like NFTs as they continuously release tokens. That's an interesting concept as well because you're running up against finance and collectibles at the same time. It's super
Right.
interesting. It is. But
Right.
speaking of tokens, right? We've got the Sand token. I just kind of
Hmm.
want to wrap a bow. If I can find this real quick, I want to wrap. Looks like somebody's joining the waiting room. Dima's taking care of them. So we've got the Sandbox land pre-sale here, number 4.2. They've obviously run a billion sales up to this point. Everybody just wants this damn thing out. But it looks like this sale, and there's going to be 4 phases, is going to be just with the Sand token. So if you're looking maybe for some NFT alpha, again, not investment advice, there might be some people picking up the Sand token to get involved in this round of pre-sales, because again, it's only exclusively bought with the Sand token. So that's a utility,
Gotcha.
the Sand token. Obviously, they were talking about adding utility to that token. There's a TLDR here. It looks like 4.2 features a 10% discount. We talked about the sand being the exclusive purchase, 4 days and 4 waves. It looks like there's going to be 1 wave each consecutive day. And then we did talk about that, we had that Care Bear situation where they're premium assets. We had some other premium assets come out on the last land sale. So there's some premium lands with some premium assets on there. They're kind of trying to incentivize people to hop in and continue to kind of buy up land here within the sandbox, man. So what do you think about that?
So, well, one last quick question on that. So Sand is available on Binance, right? But for someone like me who can't access Binance thanks to my state, is there another way for me to get Sand?
Yeah, we can look at this. If you ever want to see the volume and where something is traded and it's actually liquid, you can go to coingecko.com and you can pull this up. So let's see. We've got Sand token here. Looks like it's up 4.7 in the last 24 hours. It probably took a dip as well within that correction, but it looks like it recovered a little bit at least. So we've got Binance on here. My first guess here would be Uniswap, but it looks like there's no volume on Uniswap. Someone has to actually provide that liquidity and become a liquidity provider. So it looks like there's the exchanges here up on my screen right now that you can purchase it at. Obviously, Binance accounts for, probably 70% of that. So you can go to these other, other exchanges. I'm not familiar with. I'm not familiar with them, but primarily. I have been surprised that there hasn't been any liquidity put into any pools on Uniswap. I don't know the reasoning behind that. So that's a phenomenal question, though.
Very cool. Okay,
so we're gonna hop in, guys. We got about 20 of you guys. There's some comments being talked about in the chat. It looks like, so CryptoPhage is talking about the same, or he's giving an answer to some of your question there. He said Binance didn't want to miss out. I guess like they listed Wi-Fi very quickly. Uniswap allowed those tokens to trade without a centralized exchange. So I think CZ that's a good answer to wrap a bow on that. Yep. CZ kind of doesn't want to miss out on that market share, right? So we got, guys, speaking of DeFi and NFTs here, we've got one last story. Obviously, the RARI token is absolutely kind of been a phenomenal gainer over the past couple days, even hours. Ronin, you got into this RARI token, right? But through their liquidity mining process. So I want to hear about this. It's sitting at about $9. So even in the past 24 hours, 63% gain. Good Lord, 500% gain in the 7 days.
Wow, man, that's amazing. So yeah, I kind of got into the RARI token sideways, and I didn't even realize that I was in it until DCL blogger on Twitter posted about this yesterday. So apparently what happened is at some point during the governance, they announced that there would be certain stipulations and dates where they would do airdrops to anyone who was holding RARI. The very first one was on the 15th of July. If you had an active account, that's all you had to have. You didn't have to have purchased anything or anything like that, just had to have an active account. If you had an active account, you got 2% of the total RARI supply, according to the liquidity mining. So along those lines, they did one then, they did one a couple of days later, and then they just recently did one, I believe, within the last few days. And that's what DCL is talking about. And in his tweet, he mentions the fact that he came in here. And if you guys in chat have ever logged in and connected your wallet to RARI, particularly before the 15th of July, you guys should definitely go to this as well. It's app.rarible.com/RARI. All you have to do is connect your wallet, and then it's going to let you know if you've gotten an airdrop. And I have not purchased anything through RARI, but I went in here, I connected my wallet, I looked it up last night, and lo and behold, I had 200 worth of RARI. And that's when it was just like, I think just over 6.5. So it's obviously going to be worth a little bit more now. DCL blogger, who is a pretty big RARI guy and who has purchased quite a lot of art through RARI, ended up with about $10,000 worth of RARI and ETH. So they're taking care of their holders. And this is probably the single most interesting event as far as like DeFi, I guess. Is this DeFi or this type of thing is concerned, where I want to know more. Like, should I be buying RARI?
Yeah, Rari had an interesting past couple months. I think they got hit when Rari token was launched, which was probably about 1 or 2 months ago. Everybody in the chat, let me know the exact date if you do have it. But about 2 months ago, it was announced that Rari was going to be launched on the Rarible platform, and then they got hit. Do you remember this? Did they got hit with that like the wash trading
The
kind of
the
scandal
wash
there?
trading
So people
hardcore when they first went. Yeah, I do remember
and
that.
this is why people were upset, right? Because if you have a traditional setup where users and there's no wash trading going on, you probably get more of a percentage of those tokens than if you do have wash trading. They start getting those percentages because technically, if this wasn't caught and they were allowed to do this, I mean, you got $200 worth of Rari for probably trading a couple times here or there. Can you imagine what the guys who were wash trading got if it didn't get stopped?
No. Right. Yeah, I do know that they have gone and taken some serious precautions to avoid that. I know that their initial response was that they switched off, I guess, automatic drops. So they were actually
Mm,
going in and verifying that every account that was like ready for the like that was eligible for the drop was a real and legit account. I don't know if they're
mhm.
still having to do that. From what I understand, they are. And at least when I see them post about it on their Twitter, they usually do mention like something along the lines of, we have dropped, we have done an airdrop to our legitimate users. So I do think that there's still some question on whether or not there's been any wash trading, or there still continues to be. And I would imagine in this world of anonymity that it's probably difficult to identify fully.
Mm.
But either way, it does sound like it's something that you want to be watching. And for me, it's something
Yeah,
I'm going to be learning more about.
yeah, there's definitely a lot of things going on, specifically between that relationship between DeFi and NFTs. Specifically, I'm going to
Mhm.
point out a couple things here. One, the price has increased. Obviously, some of that probably has to deal with the fact that people are becoming aware of this liquidity mining process that has kind of taken over the DeFi space. But we do have Rarible securing funding from Coin Fund. I have that on my screen here. It's an undisclosed amount, so we don't really know exactly what was raised. Andre Cronje, he's kind of DeFi Jesus, right? He's looking
Right.
in, and I don't know what extent, right? This is not confirmed by any means, but what we have here is Andre from Wi-Fi, again, basically DeFi Jesus, saying, "Hey, I'm working or working with or working on or in some form or fashion, he's involved in the Rari token." So it looks like specifically in this tweet that I have pulled up, it looks like audio and music NFTs. So basically having copyright be based in NFTs. So this goes along again, and I know this is kind of an information dump, guys, but based on Jake Bruckham's kind of tweet here, who Jake Bruckham's over at Coin Fund, the team that invested in Rari, it looks like they're
Mhm.
taking the approach that NFTs are liquid IPs and that all digital content might one day be an NFT. So when you have Andre coming on here and talking about audio signatures and things like this, it's based on the fact that somebody might be able to create, an audio file and have that be attached to an NFT where they can actually trade and have ownership and all these things that come in the copyright process. So Rari's pretty much
Mhm.
pumping based on all these pieces of news. It'll be interesting to see to what extent Andre is actually working with Rari itself. So some people are claiming that
Cool.
he's on the Rari team itself. So we'll definitely see where that goes. But they're having themselves a good week, that's for sure.
Most definitely. I do have to say that, does that quote sound familiar? That one day every digital asset will be an NFT? I'm pretty sure I said that the first week I was on the show. I
It's
believe it,
hey,
man. Every
listen,
I believe it.
it
That's where we're
comes
going, dude.
it comes from Ronin first.
I can't. Y'all remember that? Somebody pull up that, clip it, and send it to DeFi Jesus, please. Thank you.
Amazing, yeah, yeah. So we pretty much had that Rari discussion. Obviously,
Yeah.
Rari's one to keep an eye on. Let me go back into the token really quick and see what the actual market cap is. So currently sitting at 11.5. That's still a very small project. It looks like it's ranked 356 as far as market cap goes. So a pretty small project there. We'll continue to follow it as it goes along and see what Andre starts to roll out. There was, I believe, Rari also announced support for Y Insure, which is DeFi insurance, and we're not going to at all go down that rabbit hole, but that's another piece of
I
news for
started.
that team.
Yeah, 2 nights ago, man, I saw Gabby. I don't know how to pronounce his last name. Dyson. I don't know if you follow him on Twitter, but he was slinging insurance 2 nights ago to people, and I was like, this is the most interesting space I have ever entered. And for like a geek nerd like
Mm-hmm.
me who just likes to get in the weeds of this type of stuff, like this is just crazy to me, dude. I'm in it all day. Like I'm just constantly in my phone. Like I've never been in Twitter like that, and this space is amazing.
Yeah, 100%, man. I mean, it moves so quickly. DeFi is aged me, I think, a year or so, and I'm sure there's guys in the chat that feel the exact same way. So continue to drop those comments, guys. Let us know what you think about Rari. Are you getting in? Are you not? Obviously, again, not investment advice, never will be. All right, so this is what we're doing. We talked Rari, unless you guys have some more comments there. We're going to bring in Buffalo here shortly, and he's going to talk VIMworld. So VIMworld, and I did my best to explain this on Layer 1 Live. But I just like have not gotten into the project, and Buffalo is so involved that I want him to come in, break it down. This is an NFT project on VeChain, and he stands to I don't. You know what? I'll let him explain it
He's
because I don't want to put
heavily
words.
crypto. Yeah,
He's
Buffalo
heavily
is
in there. So what's up, Buffalo?
heavily invested.
Maybe not. You know, I definitely put my time in. Q, I'm going to ask you if you could go to vimworld.com on your screen.
Yeah, I can definitely do that. Let me
Awesome.
pull that up.
So,
So are you how much are you standing to make here? Are you going to be owning a lot of
Are you
BTC
gonna
here, a
double
lot of
that
ETH?
plot in? Are you gonna double that plot on Sandbox?
Yeah, I'm going to expand it for sure. You know, I don't know. So everybody today, this is September 10th. And for most of you, it's just a normal day. But to me, this could be the day, the biggest day in crypto
Mm-hmm.
for me so far. And
Looks like we
Oh,
lost
we
you.
lost.
good call. Apologize for that. Got some triggers here I got to set up for the next episode. We'll be cleaner next time, I promise. So, VimWorld. Now, where do I start with this? So VIMs, as you can see, are characters that you can stake ERTS token, which is the 8-Hour Foundation's token that they designed. And each VIM starts at F tier, and your goal is to get up to S tier. To get up to S tier, you have to put in 257,000 ERTS tokens, which right now is around 3 grand, I believe. They first gave away a bunch free. You just signed up. They had their release in, I think it was June, end of June, maybe July. They hit the market. They're only on one market right now, which is BitTrue, paired with BTC. And I ended up coming across it towards the end of July, I think it was, or middle of July. And it's just one of those when you come across a project, you're just like, you see the vision. You know, this is a collector's kind of project where everybody involved loves gaming. They love collecting. They're huge with board games. They're huge with action figures. Well, now with the NFT space, they're digitizing these. And so these NFTs are essentially, think of them as like a virtual memory card that you can go into other games and it will save your stats. But you can also stake into the memory card. And if you're at S tier, you get unique stats that actually carry with you in all the games that you play, along with passive income. Every 2 weeks. You get a percentage of the pool that Vim pool generates. And so I'm very big into trying to collect NFTs that generate passive income for me. Got some space in the sandbox. I'll be telling you guys about that project down the road. I love the X nodes for VeChain, passive income every 10 seconds, generating gas for the network. And when I heard about VIMs and knew I could get up to S tier, it's a no-brainer for me. Now, here's where things get interesting. Today is September 10th. VimWorld's release of being able to actually start leveling up your VIM started August 21st. It takes 25 days to feed your VIM up to S. They do give you the option to hit instant upgrade to jump up tiers. Now, most people didn't want to do that yet because they knew they were only in phase 1 of phase 3. Phase 3 is when you actually start getting the passive income. So most people, like myself, thought getting an S tier wouldn't make any sense right now because you're not going to generate any income. Well, then on September 4th, 6 days ago, they let everybody know, hey, starting September 10th, anybody who has an S tier, you're going to be rewarded. You're going to get mystery prizes, something that's going to be most likely rare and never released again to only anybody who decided to instantly upgrade and get to their S tier by September 10th, which can be pretty pricey in the sense of if you're an A tier and you're trying to get to S, you have to actually burn, what is it, 500,000 ERTs, and I think 200,000 of that goes into your VIM. So it's actually a very interesting and risky kind of situation where they kind of gave investors the opportunity to essentially get the highest tier right away and trust that the foundation is going to take care of you. And I think most people looked at it as, you know what, I don't want to do instant upgrades right now. I'm just going to slowly feed my VIM and get it up to S tier. Well, about maybe 4 or 5 days ago, I realized, you know what, this is a race. Everybody who's in S tier by September 10th is going to be rewarded massively. Now, I went crazy. I tried to get as many S tiers as I could. I went on the OTC market because the main market for VIMworld isn't open yet. So I had to go through Telegram. Shout out to my boy Jimmy at Vim Trader and his Telegram group. The guys there created an escrow account. They run it really legit. He gives 300,000 ERTs insurance. The whole thing to me was something I've never done before. I followed the Telegram group for weeks before I decided to kind of like do some trades, and they helped me get a couple S tiers now. So today, at any point, and I've been watching my phone a little bit while we've been doing the show, I can find out what I get rewarded for getting to day one and getting an S tier. Now, the cool thing is, day one is today. It keeps rewarding for an undisclosed amount of time. So tomorrow, whoever gets S tier, along with S tiers from today, will be rewarded as well. And I have a feeling it's going to be tiered down. So each day from here on out will be less rewards, but they're going to give away a lot of unique things. One last thing on this is the S tiers have another feature that's really unique. They give you an egg. You can get secret eggs in games that then you can only hatch if you have an S tier. And these eggs can be passive income generated boosts. They could be special items that you can use in games. They could be rare items that you could trade to other people. As you guys know, with the NFT space, endless possibilities. And I am a huge fan of VeChain and the mainnet. And ever since they left Ethereum and created their 2-token system, I honestly believe this can be scaled globally right now. I don't believe Ethereum could say that. Not to bash on Ethereum too much. I'm a big fan. I just think the gas right now is a ridiculous problem we're all facing. And VeChain is creating this system of 2 tokens that allows VET, which is the main token, to scale up. Right, speak of Moon right now, and gas can be adjusted, which is VETHO. And they've created that system because they're trying to disrupt the supply chain industry, but they're also trying to create DeFi's coming. The NFT space has seen that they can create big platforms on VeChain and not have to worry about gas. People can do transactions all day and they're not going to have to worry about the gas price going crazy. So that's something I saw within the VeChain system, studying it big time. I plan on doing more reports and videos for you guys about these projects of mine that I want to bring to NFTLive. Today, I just wanted to get off my chest that I am super excited about VIMworld and also the play table. And check that out. Check out VIMworld. Check out the 8-Hour Foundation. And y'all check out VeChain, because the thing is going up, up, and away. So that's what I got to say today, guys. Thanks for giving me the spot on there. I'll let you guys take it away from here.
Awesome, man. Awesome. That's great. I appreciate you stopping by and giving us that info, man. I know VeChain is an interesting project, and I think understanding like what's going on in that ecosystem is important. We've been talking EOS, we've been talking Ethereum, we've been talking WAX. Like these are all good things when you can bring in a lot of different networks. So 2 questions I have. I know Ronan's going to ask, probably I'm going to get in front of Ronin here and probably ask it, but I need to know utility for the token. Like, is there going to be an ability to, and maybe we can get this on another maybe I can have this discussion with Ronin here instead of bringing Buffalo back in. But I want to know what can we end up doing with the token? You mentioned that board game there, and then 2, what the actual volume on the inventory marketplace and things like that is, because I know a lot of and I'm taking it from Dima there. Whenever you're trying to get involved in passive income, you need to understand what the actual volume and what the interest is in the community for the tokens. But this looks amazing, man. I appreciate the info.
Nice. Yeah, let me get into that real quick. I'll try my best. Sorry for that delay there.
No worries.
So, right, it's super new, you guys. It's only on BitTrue. So I had to download BitTrue. I had to move Bitcoin over to get it. Even VeChain's VEX exchange, which is through the VeChain network, hasn't even brought it on yet. So this thing is super new. So in that sense, this is the first time I've ever gone and invested in something that was only on one exchange and paired with one thing. I thought it was kind of exciting, but also kind of risky. What's really interesting is they're in phases. And right now, as you put more staking into your VIMs, you can't actually pull them out just yet. So I think it's an interesting tactic in that sense of making sure that you're not going to see these whales come in and throw a bunch of price. Not a lot of people are going to panic because they're kind of locked into their VIMs. And to some people who aren't true believers and are looking to just trade, that's probably not the best situation. But long-term hodlers like myself, I'm loving it. And it's been stable. I mean, there's a big pullback that we all had. And I looked at 8 hour and I was like, what? Up 30%? Well, everything is down 20? Are you kidding me? So, I'm liking that. The 8 hours token is called ERTS. And right now it's mainly being used with VIMworld, but the play table, which is a whole nother project I'm going to do a video on for you guys, is going to essentially disrupt the board game industry. And think of a giant iPad that 4 people could use sitting on a table. And what's really interesting about it is that you could take an action figure from your kid's toy chest, you could put an RFID sticker on it and place it on the play table, and it will actually register that and save the stats. And now that action figure that your kid never played with for years suddenly is its favorite toy that saves every best score it's had in every game it uses. So I'm going to go way deep on it in videos, you guys. I promise. It's something that I just really wanted to give its its moment here, because today's a big day, and then hopefully I can reach out to John Dempsey and get him on NFTLive, and we can really pick his brain on what he's trying to do here.
Love that, man. Love that. All right, so this is what we're going to do. We've got about 7 minutes left. We got that hard stop at 2 p.m. today, guys. We appreciate you guys stopping by. It looks like there's 24 of you guys in the chat. We have a little bit of Nifty Gateway drop to get to, which I'll let Ronin kind of take over here and talk about. We had, I think, 3 announcements that we're going to get to as far as Nifty goes. But again, Buffalo, appreciate that information, man. Can't wait to see what comes of VIMworld. Hopefully you get lucky there, and congrats to you there.
So in the Nifty Gateway stuff, for me, what I kind of wanted to touch on was the fact that this week is going to be a POC drop. So Murat POC is an artist who's really big in the crypto space. He's been given all types of crazy titles. Most of you are going to remember POC from his red pixel that sold for like $8,000.
It's right. This guy.
Yeah, but he does some art that makes people talk, and they, and regardless of what's happening, I think that anytime that you can get these, stories in front of people who have no idea what crypto or crypto art is or NFTs, it's a good thing. And his sale of the red pixel definitely did that, and he continues to do things like that. So if you don't know, Nifty Gateway, they do a drop every Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern. I think you can only get in via credit card at the moment, so you're not actually able to use ETH like you were about a month ago. They're eventually going to bring that back in once they can kind of work out the transaction times. But he'll probably have multiple pieces. Usually there's you'll have anywhere between 5 and 10 pieces all together in a collection that's released at one time, and they're all going to vary in price and how many items are being released, and then usually there's 1 or 2 auctions that are 24-hour auctions that you can also get in on. So I am sure that POC will have a very big auction going, as well as if you're able to get any of his maybe lower end NFTs, I say do it. Even if it's a 1 to 10, it's going to be worth it. Definitely check it out. So that was one thing. And then the other drop, I think you had wanted to touch on, because I know a little bit about Vandal, but Vandal with his the gummy bears, right?
Yeah, it looks like it. I've got Nifty
part of that drop tonight.
Yeah, it looks like it. I've got Thursday evening drop. It looks like 5 hours from now. I do have the overarching question of are we ever, Ronin, going to be able to get any of these Nifties? I know we've been talking about Nifties for a while, but literally they sell out instantly. I don't know. You probably need the fastest internet to actually even get any of these Nifties. But yeah, I can touch on Vandal Gummy. But are we ever going to get any of these Nifties?
Yeah, man. I think that for me, it's just gonna take like the right one that makes me like pull out my wallet versus like dipping into my Ethereum funds.
Mm.
But I'm definitely planning on picking one up at some point here soon, hopefully.
Yeah, I know we had I forgot the actual artist, but he had like the spacesuit and a lot of like the really cool art
Yeah, BD.
surrounding like that. That's yeah, BD. I know we were trying to get in that, but it sold out instantly, pretty much. We do have, I believe it's Wisby here that has this Vandal Gummy, and he's going to be part of the Nifty Gateway drop. Again, art scene guys, I would love for you to school me on the art scene because I simply just am not involved. I do think as NFTs continuously evolve, I'm 100% getting into the art scene. I just really feel like dipping my toes in slowly is probably the good bet here. But if I'm trying to get in one, this is certainly a really cool piece of art series here. We got the Vandal Gummies, Wisby again. I think he's a famous or at least somewhat popular New York City artist. And you can kind of go to niftygateway.com. You can go to the drops and you can see the profiles behind who the actual artists are. I really like the way that they do that. And we can see like what is going to be. It looks like 10 editions. I don't know if they have a 1-of-1. It doesn't look like it. So they'll have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7 pieces of art. Oh, they do have a 1-of-1. There it is. The gold, gold Vandal Gummy. The rest are going to be 10 of 10s or 1 of 10s. So that looks like it's going to be a interesting drop. So overall, it looks like there will be 71 pieces of art on sale from Wisby. Again, these go out really quick. I'm not sure what the aftermarket kind of sales are or the kind of post-sale market for the returns, but from all intents and purposes, I really do feel like Nifties are gonna see they're gonna hold their value and they're gonna return you good value in the long run. So.
Yeah, definitely. I think typically like after they sell out those like 1 of 10s, or you're going to see at minimum like a 1.5x. Sometimes depending on the artist, they'll be a little bit more than that. But they definitely good. I think it for the Vandal, those are really good because you've got so many different ones that the people who are watching are right. You're going to be splitting up your attention, so you've got a pretty good chance of picking up a Vandal if you've got 10 different ones to choose from, right? 70 different to give out. So that's one of those situations where it's like, okay, let me pick the one that I really, really want, right? Let me try for that one first. If that one's out of sale, then you can probably pick up another one. Or you can pick up, just try to pick up a purple or whatever and try to swap for a red. So there's opportunity there, especially when you've got that many to choose from.
Gotcha. Okay, I don't want to hold you here too much longer. We've got one more.
Yeah.
We've got one more,
One more
piece of
story.
information here, guys. I did want to get to Daniel. He's in the comments. He's saying good stuff. I'm new to the crypto NFT space, and Vim seems super interesting. So yeah, man, we're here bringing you all the greatest news. I love getting on NFTLive for sales. I love bringing you guys the news. The sales are an awesome time for us, particularly, man. I think those are really fun. But we're bringing you the best info in the NFT space. Get into the Telegram chat. If you're not already, I think you are already, Daniel. But if you guys are listening, you're not. We're talking NFTs all day. I know there's some DeFi stuff going on in there too. We're crypto wide. So let's get into that last piece of news, Ronin, and then we'll head off here.
All right. Yeah. So the last thing I had to drop, which was this is kind of just going up in the back end of the art stuff, was there's actually going to be the first drop that I know of as far as focused directly on art on wax. So this is going to be an artist by the name KR Winger. And he's done some, or she, I'm not really sure, has done some art drops on wax previously, but this is the first one that is being like kind of marketed. Right, so he's going to have 50 of this piece available. This piece is actually it's a copy of a real physical piece that he has done. So there's going to be 50 NFTs that are stagnant. Then you're going to have 5 that are actually animated that are going to be given away as special edition prizes. And everyone who gets one of the 50 is going to be entered into a grand prize where one person will actually get the physical painting, which is really, really cool. So putting that one on the radar for you guys. like Q said, unfortunately today is one of those days where we do have kind of a hard stop. It is my son's birthday, so I do want to say thank you to everyone who jumped in today. Car Jesus, Violet, and Indigo look cool. I agree. The Violet, I think, is the one that I was most interested in as far as the gummies. And Lauren Jones said that those are her favorite as well. So thank you everybody who came in, who hung out with us. Thank you to all the lads who joined up today. Everyone who just kept the conversation going. We appreciate you guys very much. And yeah, Q, we're gonna have to do maybe a special episode strictly on art one week.
Yeah, man, 100%. And I appreciate all the work you've been doing for NFTLive. I know we brought you on, I think 3 weeks ago now. So it's almost coming to that month anniversary for us, but happy birthday to your son. I did want to get some shout outs again. So we had Kieran, we had Martin, North Bull, Brandon, Longhair, a ton of different people in the Cryptophasia, DJ Wisdom. You guys are killing it when you're bringing it in the comments, man. We appreciate all the things that you're doing for us here at NFTLive and Layer 1 Live as a whole, man. But yeah, this has been a great episode. Buffalo gave us the lowdown on some VeChain NFTs. So yeah, have fun
cool,
today, man.
Thanks so much, guys. And real quick, Gil, it is KR Winger on Wax. And Scott, thank you so much for the happy birthday. Appreciate you guys being here. We'll see you guys next week.
Awesome.